It is not clear at this moment when the president's pick to become the next director of national intelligence will have his confirmation hearing. Yesterday, Senate Intelligence Committee Chair Tom Cotton said the hearing was unfortunately postponed after President Trump directed his nominee not to appear before lawmakers. The Republican lawmaker had initially said the panel would proceed with the confirmation after the president posted this message yesterday. It effectively says the meeting was canceled. CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small joins us on Capitol Hill to explain what's behind all of this. Good morning, Taurean. Why the reversal from the president, and how are Republicans reacting to it?
Well, good morning, Arrow. I can't underscore enough just how unusual it is to have a nominee essentially refuse to testify before Congress at the request of the president. It's not the president's decision to decide whether for a confirmation hearing goes forward. That solely rests at the feet of Congress, which is why we saw that very public spat between Senator Cotton and the president on Clayton's absence this week. I have to point out the president in his Truth Social post hinted at, in his mind, Republicans giving up their leverage by making this backdoor deal. A lot of Democrats and some Republicans as well were uneasy with the fact that Bill Pulte would be acting DNI as Tulsi Gabbard leaves at the end of the week. So in the lieu of that, or to mitigate what Democrats called that damage, they were looking to push through McDonnell as quickly as possible so Pulte wouldn't be able to sit in that role for too long. This is what a few senators had to say yesterday about this.
I like Jay. I've known Jay. He did a good job at the SEC. But I mean, these are Trump's nominees. He gets to decide. You don't have to be an expert on intelligence. Your job is to take the information, organize it, and provide it to the president. That's the job.
This is further example of how Donald Trump has no respect for the national security of our nation. For him to be jerking around Jay Clayton, for him to be jerking around critical intelligence tools at this point, is the epitome of irresponsibility.
The president is now tethering his nomination to a few other priorities, including Jamie McDonald, who he's tapping to replace him as a U.S. district attorney, but that's also its own can of worms. He's also saying that he won't go forth in approving FISA reauthorization of a federal surveillance program unless senators also approve the Save America Act, a national voter ID law. In both of those cases, that will require a 60-vote threshold, which the votes are just not there quite yet, Errol.
Yeah, so the president has a number of priorities that he's putting together, but Senate Republicans don't seem in lockstep with them all. You mentioned Jamie McDonald. What are his ties to the president, and why is his involvement in the president's plan so complicated?
Yeah, he's a part of a firm that serves as personal attorneys for President Trump during this previous presidential election cycle, but also through some of his current litigation, including against or for an appeal his Stormy Daniels case. This doesn't sit well with a lot of Democrats, which is why they're pushing back against this. The president is saying before the Senate goes forward with the approval of Clayton, they want to ensure that McDonald could step in somewhat quickly to replace him in his current role. The problem, though, with that is, again, there's just not consensus among Democrats or Republicans for this to happen, and it only shattered the plan that Republicans had negotiated with Democrats in terms of a timeline for moving forward these legislative agendas.
All right, we'll keep a close eye on Capitol Hill. Taurean, thank you very much.